Welcome back to Morning Rush. Well, it's an interesting question. Plagiarism or technology assistance? That's what many schools are now grappling with when it comes to AI in the classroom. The parents of a high school student in Massachusetts are now suing their son's school after he was suspended for using AI to help with an assignment. According to the parents, the student used it as a research tool and wrote the paper himself, but the school accuses him of cheating. Joining us now to discuss is Amanda Bickerstaff, CEO for AI Education. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and making some time for us. So the young man in this situation was punished and his parents are appealing and calling for the school to implement policies around the use of AI before something like this happens. They say at the time, when their student put this assignment in, there were no rules at his specific school regarding AI usage. So what should schools be doing right now, and where do they stand when it comes to AI? Are they behind if they're not already addressing this?
It's a great question, and thank you for having me here today. We've been doing this work around the country and actually the world the last just over a year. And what we find is that this technology is so new, and ChatGPT was released less than 2 years ago. We're coming up on its birthday in November. Is that all of a sudden it wasn't like students had a little bit of access to a brand new technology, but we have, students are adopting these tools at an incredibly fast rate for a lot of really great reasons, but also for academic dishonesty. It is happening in both ways. These tools are allowing us to have really amazing opportunities to have personalized learning, to be able to support students and their homework and their studying, but it also can be, it's like a magic button for an essay. And so academic integrity has been a huge question over the last 2 years. And what's happening is that I think that it's almost like you had a smartphone. It took about a decade for smartphones to be really impacting schools as much as they are right now. And if you see what's happening around the country, there's lots of regulation and schools are making big decisions about that. Well, this isn't 10 years, this is less than 2 years. And so schools have not had the chance to catch up. And so what we believe very strongly is that we need to be focusing on two things. One is developing guidance that actually shows students how to use these tools responsibly and creates a situation where if a student was accused of cheating, they can have a conversation and figure out what the right way to do it next time is before immediately going to punishment. We believe that this is an opportunity to teach a new mindset of technical use, as well as actually training students how to use the tools effectively. The student says that he used the tool to help him outline and also to do research. But where is that line of originality is something that we should be talking to students about and actually teaching them how to use the tools responsibly, and not just assuming because they are now AI native that they actually know how to use these tools responsibly.
Well, and as you said, it took a while for smartphones to catch on. In the 1970s, when calculators were introduced, people did not want those to be included in classrooms, thinking that that could allow cheating as well. So there is a learning curve, but many parents just think that this should be banned. Many schools don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. What is your argument to those critics, and why can AI really add something to the classroom, or are there cases where it should not be used?
I think that we're living through an inflection point. We're living through a technological transformation unlike anything we've ever lived through. And so it is going to be something where we have to acknowledge this isn't going away. This isn't a hype cycle. This isn't something that's going to disappear in a couple years. This is already transforming all parts of our world, including communication, even the way I'm sure you do the news. And so to not teach students how to use these tools responsibly is actually not preparing them for the future. And we make a joke that, I don't know if you remember, when you put Microsoft Office on your resume, or like I'm really good at Gmail, like we're at that moment already where hiring managers are looking for people to come out of colleges with AI skills. And so the idea of not preparing students for that future would be the complete opposite of our goal as educators. Also, there is an enormous opportunity to really support students and being able to use technology to support their needs specifically. And while the technology is very new and we don't see applications yet that are really going to create a vastly different classroom experience, I think that's where we're going with the technology advances. But I do believe that we are going to have to look at this in terms of, if you have, again, that magic button where it can do an essay or an outline or even a presentation, how are we going to encourage students to keep learning and to lean into their humanity, the things that make them special, and to do that learning so that then when they have the access to the technology, it's something that actually extends and augments them, and it allows them to do the things they've always wanted to do, whether it's be creative, start their own business, be a musician, whatever that looks like. And I think that's our ultimate goal. But it's going to require, students and teachers and schools and even the district leaders coming together and having these conversations and just starting from a place of we're all learning together. Like, no one has an answer yet. And this is such a unique opportunity for schools to be in the forefront of this, because education is being disrupted more than any other industry, really, than maybe software engineering and a few others.
It certainly feels like we are at an inflection point, but it's going to be a fine line to walk for students who are in an ever-competitive world to get into college, to finish all those assignments, keep up grades, to not hit that magic easy button and just fall back on AI. So those guidelines will be very important moving forward. Amanda Bickerstaff, CEO for AI Education, thank you for your insight.
Thank you so much.